Well, match week 17 concludes with just one game on Sunday. It is Aston Villa hosting Manchester United. Aston Villa looking to go within 3 points of Arsenal after Arsenal get the job done against Everton away. And Aston Villa looking to keep the pressure on as Unai Emery heads into this game in rip-roaring form. They have been magnificent. Their last loss in the Premier League was on the 2nd of November. And since then, it's been all green for Unai Emery's men. What a turnaround it has been from Unai Emery, not just steadying the ship, but soaring past challenges. They're in red-hot form with Manchester United heading into this game on the back of 8 goals scored in the last 2, but that 4-4 draw against Bournemouth would have been a real dampener conceding. They led at every point of the game, and the lead was clawed back every time. Manchester United with quite a few absentees today, but that most importantly, Kobbie Mainoo was this game that he was supposed to be starting, but he seems to have picked up a calf injury, which means that he's not just on the bench, he's not in the match day squad either here, which means Manuel Ugarte will partner Bruno Fernandes in the midfield pivot. As for Aston Villa, just the one change made by Unai Emery. He's got a settled lineup here. Victor Lindelof is playing against his former club as we are off and running here in Birmingham. Aston Villa looking to continue their fantastic run here in the festive period. It's been a brilliant December. Unai Emery, as it stands, very much on course for Manager of the Month. Well, Amadou Rana and Boubacar Kamara, the two midfield pairing with Yuri Tielemans in the number 10 position. Got John McGinn and Morgan Rogers, of course, who's been in unbelievable form. Manchester United away from home, they will be having a bit more joy considering they don't need to really take initiative with the ball. They can play counter-attacking, but no Brian Mbeumo and Amad Diallo, as the two have gone for AFCON duties, so as Nouzer Mazraoui. For the teams having to cope with their loss of their African stars. Sunderland is going to be a team which are really going to have to try and cope without 4 of their players who will be going for AFCON duties, as Manchester United have a free kick on that right-hand side. It is Bruno Fernandes who's looking to deliver this one into the box with pace and whip. Bruno delivers. It's a flat delivery. It's easily cleared by Ian Matson. Here's Patrick Dogu back into the starting 11 in that left wing-back spot with Diogo Dalot playing as the right wing-back. Of course, the back 3 for Manchester United: Lenny Yoro, Aidan Heaven and Luke Shaw. Not much experience there, where Luke Shaw will have to be the senior figure alongside Yoro and Heaven. Well, San Lamels protected Manchester United's record of having never lost a game, being up at half-time. He made 2 magnificent saves in stoppage time. Manchester United were 4-3 up in the 84th minute, and they could have very easily lost that match. Benjamin Šeško back in the starting 11, did come on as a sub in that game against Bournemouth. Might be a foul there on Morgan Rogers. It is. Diogo Dalot will have to make sure that he keeps an eye on the Englishman who's looking to break into Thomas Tuchel's 11. That competition for that number 10 spot is going to be heating up with Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, all vying for that spot. So onto the right hand side is Mason Mount. Immediate first time ball for Cunha! It's just wide. It fell so kindly to Mateus Cunha, who runs onto it, looks to curl that into the corner. Martinez was rooted to the spot, and Manchester United nearly take an early lead here. Lindelof's clearance is very poor. It's half-hearted from the Swede, and the Brazilian runs onto this one. Plenty of curl on it, and Aston Villa are very fortunate that they're not 1-0 down here. Not enough curl by the looks of it, but an early warning shot fired at Aston Villa. Here's John McGinn playing as the right winger, the experienced Scotsman. Ezri Konsa. He was playing alongside Pau Torres in their impressive run. Torres is not there. He's picked up yet another injury, which means former Manchester United player appeared about 300 times for them since 2017, Victor Lindelof, in the heart of the defense for Unai Emery. Unai Emery is in third after some very poor summer business from Aston Villa, going to Manchester United, getting Lindelof and Jadon Sancho. Not elite in terms of recruitment, that's for sure. That just shows you the job that Unai Emery has done. Lovely pass by McGinn. There's a chance here on the left-hand side for Ollie Watkins. It's a decent first touch. It's Ollie Watkins. Chops in on his right. Aidan Heaven does brilliantly on the cover. Again, a very open start here early on. Morgan Rogers picking up the ball in that number 10 position. Immediately finding Ollie Watkins on that left-hand side channel. He did well. Might have been wiser to try and shoot with his left foot. As soon as he chops on his right. Gives the opportunity for Aidan Heaven to be on the cover there. Good pass there by Morgan Rogers. There, he has to shoot, but decides to chop in onto his favoured right foot. It's done well to get away from Euro. Has to shoot there, but too much delay on it. That's the warning sign that Aston Villa have shown, that if Manchester United lose the ball in midfield, possibility for a turnover turning into a counter-attack can be very swift. Well, Aston Villa will finish match week 17 in third position. A magnificent job by Unai Emery continues here, but a win here will take them 3 points behind league leaders Arsenal. Just shows you how tight it is at the top of the table. Arsenal were under pressure after Manchester City won their game against West Ham. Went to the top momentarily, put the pressure on Arsenal, but Mikel Arteta's men getting the job done just about. Away at Everton, a 1-0 result is very much workable, that's for sure. Onana is strong, so is Kamara, but Ugarte comes away with the ball. Big game here for Manuel Ugarte. Hasn't seen much game time, with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes preferred in the pivot for Ruben Amorim. Oh, Casemiro with that suspension that he picked up with his 5 yellow cards. Kobbie Mainoo would have been expected to start, but again, the balance between Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes, I'm not sure whether or not that would have been favourable for Ruben Amorim. Amorim has spoken about how Kobbie Mainoo is competing for a spot with Bruno Fernandes. Here's Morgan Rogers, Tielemans, lovely 1-2 attempt. Hayden comes across. Good defending there. Aidan Heaven has made a name for himself. No Harry Maguire or Matthias de Ligt. Aidan Heaven has taken his chance very well. He's getting the faith of the manager too. Was that £1 million signing from Arsenal? Manchester United trying to extract as much as possible from it, as Bruno Fernandes got fouled there by Boubacar Kamara. Frenchman is going to be tasked with keeping a close eye on Manchester United skipper. Ruben Amorim spoke about going to back four with that 4-3-3 maybe, but he probably spoke about it in terms of in-game management. He tried that against Bournemouth. It did not work. Ugarte gets robbed off the ball here brilliantly. Here's Onana. He's got options left and right. Onana feeds it to John McGinn. Oh, it's a brilliant save. And on the follow-up, somehow blocked by Aidan Heaven. Wow, how did that stay out? Magnificent from Aston Villa again, but Manchester United lose the ball very poorly. That is a terrible touch by Manuel Ugarte, and now Aston Villa are in business. Onana picks the right pass here. John McGinn with the first time effort on his left foot. It's a brilliant save by San Lamens. It popped up kindly, but Aidan Heaven was there very much on scene to clear that away. Another warning shot fired at Manchester United. It's not been the start that Ruben Amorim's men were looking for. It's all about the delivery though by John McGinn. If he gets it spot on, it can cause Manchester United's defence all sorts of problems. They've got Ezri Konsa, Victor Lindelof. Matty Cash is an option too on the edge of the box. He can have a pop. From United's point of view, it's not been the start that they were looking for here. This is where Aston Villa need to take advantage of the situation here. It's just gone wide with that effort. San Lamens was just rooted to the spot. It shows you that Aston Villa very much up for this one. Here's Luke Shaw. How close was that? You saw Lamens just completely rooted to his spot. Did not move. That ball just trickled past the post. The best opportunity that Aston Villa have had. They've had a few already. Just about 8 minutes on the clock. All hands on deck here for Ruben Amram's men. 2 wins in the last 5 games for United. That 4-1 victory against Wolves and beating Crystal Palace away from home. Do they have another away performance in them here? Dalot with a push and run down the right hand side. Good strength here from Diogo Dalot. Thought about the shot. Last touch has come off the Manchester United player. Just be a goal kick. Good ambitious run there by Dalot. Pinched the ball high up the pitch. Decided to run at the Aston Villa defence. Manchester United can threaten on the counter-attack. They know they have been outplayed in the early stages. Ugarte losing the ball in midfield under no pressure initially is a concerning sight. Unai Emery couldn't get the job done last season. Lost away from home and then a 0-0 draw at home. Shows you that whenever pressure is on Aston Villa to pull out a result against Manchester United, they do seize. Manchester United's point of view, this is pretty much the best case scenario. Pull out a result. 0-0 is at this point the best possible outcome for them here. It's been all Aston Villa in terms of chances. Throw in for Manchester United. Dalot with the throw. Decent height on it. Heaven gets the header. Camara clears. Manchester United looking to keep the attack going. Ball floated into the box. Martinez is there and it's a brilliant grab. The Argentine with great handling there. Back in the starting 11 after his... Oh, it's a great win there by Mason Mount. Here's Mateus Cunha. Manchester United taking advantage of the turnover in possession. Here's Cunha on the left hand side. Patrick Dogu rides the challenge brilliantly. Dogu, cross comes in. And it's another great grab there by Martinez. Good play there by Patrick Dogu, manufacturing a bit of space with that bit of skill and trickery to get away from his marker. We've seen that Victor Lindelof does struggle in the air, and Benjamin Šeško is what, 6'5"? That's a clear tactic for Manchester United to try and exploit. Šeško against Victor Lindelof could be a mismatch, but Manchester United don't really play with crosses in the box. Especially with their wing backs, they have to try and stretch the pitch as wide as possible to get their number 9 those clear-headed opportunities. Here's Ugarte. Lenny Yoro, £60 million move from Lille last summer. It's been topsy-turvy for him. Touch there for Benjamin Šeško. Just gets away there. Clever pass into the channel for the Slovenian. Here's the former Chelsea player Ian Maatsen. Finds the former Manchester United player in Victor Lindelof. Ezri Konsa to Matty Cash. Cash has scored some crucial goals. Scored against Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. McGinn rides the challenge nicely. Composure there. Villa playing very risky game there, and Yuri Tielemans gets fouled there by Manuel Ugarte. Ugarte has to be spot on in terms of his actions here. Has to make sure that he doesn't commit any needless fouls, picks up unnecessary bookings, especially early in the game, especially when Aston Villa look for their counter-attacks. They are very quick. Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, or John McGinn down that right-hand side. Plenty of pace. Here's Lindelof. Left-footed ball into the channel. Brilliant ball there, and Ollie Watkins got there first, but it's Aidan Heaven on the cover. Ricochet off the defender. It's a corner for Aston Villa. Direct play there from the Villains. Lovely ball there by Victor Lindelof. The spin turn there by Ollie Watkins is excellent. But Aidan Heaven on the cover does very well. Corner for Villa again. Amadou Onana, Victor Lindelof, Ezri Konsa, Ollie Watkins. All key targets for the Aston Villa players. It's a short corner played. It's McGinn. It's taken a deflection of the United player. It's another corner. Interesting corner routine there. Plays that shot to McGinn, who was on the byline, but Mason Mount was in close attention. This time I'm sure the ball will be whipped into the box here by Yuri Tielemans. Short corner routine was tried once. Did not come off. Expect the ball to be curled in with whip and pace. Tielemans delivers, cleared away comfortably. Here's Kamara. Finds Matty Cash on the right hand side. Here's the Polish right back. It's just a dugout cross which San Laments comfortably gathers. Quick release by the Belgian as well. Manchester United looking to get a move on here. It's been a difficult start for them. Not really stitching up passes in the final third. Defensively, they have been opened up on a few occasions in the early stages. Critical that they get their defensive structure spot on here, because Aston Villa can really punish you if you're not on it. Aidan Heaven has been busy in the early stages. He's done his defensive duties very well, the youngster. Here's Luke Shaw. He's been the permanent fixture at the left-sided centre-back position under Ruben Amorim this season. Oh, Patrick Dogu has been robbed off, and that is very fortunate for Dogu, because Matty Cash was on his way on the right-hand side. It looked like he won the ball cleanly. Might have clattered Patrick Dogu there. Looks like a sore run on the knee for the left wing back. Oh, it's knee-on-knee collision. You can see why the referee did give that away, but I don't think that was a foul, because he gets the ball first. Or he gets it simultaneously. That is very fortunate for Patrick Dogu. His mistake could have been really compounded if Matty Cash was on his way on the right-hand side. 15 minutes on the clock, 0-0 at Villa Park. Aston Villa have been on a magnificent run. United win this one. They'll be level on points with Chelsea in fourth, but only goal difference separating Chelsea, Manchester United and Liverpool. Mason Mount lays it off to Diogo Dalot. Mateus Cunha with a heavy first touch. McGinn clears. Aston Villa trying to be intricate. It's a very risky tactic. United play out very nicely here. Here's Mateus Cunha. Lays it short though for Patrick Dogu, who's on the outside. Again, it's a bit predictable there from Patrick Dogu. You know he's going to go on the outside. Comfortable defending though by Matty Cash rather. Well, Cash is very much up for the big games here. Does like a big goal as well. A couple of goals, one against Arsenal, one against Tottenham. And both were wins, weren't it? Good distribution there. Lovely touch there by James McGinn. Here's Kamara. Finds Konza. Very little to separate the two teams in terms of possession, but it's been Aston Villa in terms of the attempts. Here's Lindelof. To be about commanding with the ball. He's looking to carry and then try and those ping passes. Haven't seen too much of Amadou Onana in the midfield yet. Dalot. Mason Mount. Seems that Mount's playing as the right side and number 10 and Cunha on the left. Brian Mbeumo off with Cameroon for AFCON, and Amad Diallo with Ivory Coast. Here's Heaven, Cunha, Luke Shaw. Manchester United's point. This is a good 0-0 to have here considering the duress they found themselves under. Here's Ugarte. Heaven finds Luke Shaw. Decent possession here from Manchester United, but it's in non-threatening areas. Cunha finds Dogu. First time ball into the channel. Good header there by Victor Lindelof. Great composure shown there by Ian Maatsen. It's fantastic composure. Great carry there by the young Dutchman. And he signed for what, £30 million from Chelsea? Aston Villa highlighting the importance of the Dutchman on that left-hand side. Manchester United's bench is very, very thin. They've only got Joshua Zirkzee really in terms of a proper attacking substitution. No Casemiro, no Mainu, which means their midfield is threadbare as well. Maatsen does well to get away from Mason Mount. Switches it to John McGinn. Clever pass there. Luke Shaw reads the danger well and clears that away. And good possession here from Aston Villa in the Manchester United half. Konza finds Boubacar Kamara. Matty Cash. Manchester United in their defensive shape here. See there, 5-2-3, almost 5-4-1 without the ball. Benjamin Šeško with the lone centre forward. Haven't seen too many balls fired at Šeško's feet in the first quarter of the game. 15 minutes, pretty much nothing for Benjamin Šeško. He's been feeding off scraps. He's got a couple of goals to his credit, but nowhere near enough in terms of impact considering the amount of money Manchester United paid to RB Leipzig in the summer. Nearly £200 million spent on a completely new front line. It has worked because they are scoring a lot more goals. Their goal difference is finally in the positive after nearly 2.5 seasons. Good switch out onto the left hand side. Morgan Rogers is offside. Rogers wanted the ball played a bit earlier there. You can see they just wants Ezri Konsa to just ping that slightly earlier. Morgan Rogers having a tremendous season. What from the Championship? Was it Middlesbrough? What a fantastic acquisition he has been. The clean sheets have been difficult for San Lemens and Manchester United to keep. When you do play with the back five, the least you expect is defensive solidity, and if you keep conceding goals, isn't a good look for the system, because it just shows you that as a team you need to score 2 or 3 goals to win a match. Sometimes against the top teams, just a solitary goal might just decide the game. 20 minutes on the clock though. Manchester United pretty much getting the early objective out the way here. First 20 minutes, keep it at 0-0. Let the home crowd quieten a little bit. There's Ezri Konsa. Kamara takes a huge risk but gets out of trouble brilliantly. And then plays a ball forward. Heaven had to win the header, and he did, because Aston Villa had a couple of players committed in the attack. Here's Rogers. Again, it's a channel pass. Heaven's defending is top notch. His positioning was spot on there. And he strides with the ball very comfortably. He has looked good, but that's the commentator's curse. If I've ever seen one, it's a pass to no one. So throw in for Aston Villa. Good play there by Aiden Heaven. Got his positioning absolutely spot on. His body shape to receive the ball and then drive forward with it. Luke Shaw anticipates the danger nicely on the left hand side. Bruno Fernandes' left-footed ball in. Should be cleared, but it's a chance. What a save! Emi Martinez denies Benjamin Šeško. Makes himself as big as possible. That ball fell fortuitously to Benjamin Šeško. Let's have a look here. It should have been cleared. Aston Villa make a huge mess of it. This is a magnificent save by Dibu Martinez. Well, that's the chance that Benjamin Šeško was looking for. And just like that, Manchester United creates something out of absolutely nothing. It was a fortuitous ball. It wasn't aimed by Bruno Fernandes towards Šeško, but it fell to him. From there, you're expecting the Slovenian to score. Yuri Tielemans, playing as that number 10, puts Lenny Yoro under pressure. A very aggressive approach here by Aston Villa. Nearly halfway through the first half. 0-0 the scoreline. Both teams have had chances. Manchester United with Benjamin Šeško the latest chance, which the Slovenian should have done better. But Martinez with a clutch save early on to keep it at 0-0. Can Manchester United pinch the ball? Here's Mateus Cunha. He's got options. It's a clever pass to Benjamin Šeško. That is a terrible touch. Oh my word. Benjamin Šeško, what are you doing there? What should have been a comfortable go around the keeper and slot it home. He's made it look 10 times more difficult. Manchester United do very well here. Again, Mateus Cunha has picked the ball up. He's got the run here. Šeško done the right thing. Can he have a better touch? That is a terrible first touch. He's just hit that with his toe rather than just taking the pace off it. Very poor there by Benjamin Šeško. 2 opportunities to open the scoring. Mateus Cunha knows that they can't keep wasting chances like this one. Looks a bit laborious when he's running at full pale. The good news for Šeško is he's getting chances. It's not like it's been an isolated performance up front. Once been found by Bit of luck rather than judgment, and then Mateus Cunha reverse through pass. It was weighted to perfection. Šeško could have just lifted it over the keeper or gone around him. Decided to go around him, but the touch was so bad. Martinez is still on the deck. You can see Matty Cash has collided with Emiliano Martinez. We'll check whether or not Martinez might have had a concussion, because his head did bounce off the turf. Looks okay, should be okay to continue, but Manchester United in the last couple of minutes getting two opportunities, both falling to their number 9. One was saved brilliantly by Martinez, and the second one, Šeško should have done so much better. And on both occasions, would have given Manchester United a bit more confidence, knowing that they can get at the Aston Villa defence. Third in the league, and they'll finish in third regardless of the result today. Chelsea in fourth after a very good comeback at St James's Park. They were down 2-0 at half-time, could have very easily been 3. Nick Woltemade getting a brace, but the second half performance from the Blues were excellent. Got 2 with Reece James and Joao Pedro getting on the score sheet. Manchester City rather, getting the job done with a 3-0 victory against West Ham United. Erling Haaland with his 18th and 19th Premier League goal after match week 17. The man is a machine, and he's on a mission to stop Arsenal from winning the league. Arsenal still top, and when you're top at Christmas, it's generally a good omen. But Arsenal fans will not be taking the bait, especially when they've been burned before. They want to be cautious, but they know that this is their year. This is the best opportunity that they will have. But when you look at the table, 2 points, the difference between Arsenal and Manchester City. And if Aston Villa win today, there'll be 3 points between first and third. Just shows you how tight things are at the top of the table here. As Emi Martinez is looking okay to continue, but Aston Villa's substitute goalkeeper is intensified his warm-up just in case. If Emi Martinez cannot continue, it would be a huge blow. Clear difference between their number 1 and number 2 goalkeeper with the experience and quality that Emi Martinez possesses. So far it's been an even game, chances for both sides. Aston Villa might have created a few more opportunities, but the best chances fell to Benjamin Šeško on both attempts. Arsenal and Everton played out a difficult viewing of a football match. Ended up 1-0 with a Victor Gyökeres first half penalty. I mean, O'Brien's decision to put his hands up in the corner will never make sense to me. But Arsenal got away with murder there, with William Saliba clearly having a kick at Thierry Barry. I'm so surprised as to why that decision didn't go in favour of the home side. But Arsenal and Arteta got away with that performance like they did against Wolves. It's a slight wobble, but still they've picked up 6 points, and that is the crucial bit for a side going for the title. Manchester United struggling to progress the ball as a team, but Ugarte finds Luke Shaw. Here's Bruno Fernandes deep in his own half, almost playing like a quarterback there with the spread, but easily won. Here's Onana, finds Ezri Konsa. Lindelof. Morgan Rogers to Ian Maatsen. Maatsen put under pressure. Fernandes recovers the ball. Here's Bruno Fernandes at that explosive interview after that 4-4 draw against Bournemouth. Talked about how the club wanted him to go in the summer. There was a lot of money on the table, but Ruben Amorim decided that he wants to keep the Portuguese captain and wants to continue playing him in midfield in the pivot. There's Dalot. Cunha. Clever. Mount. Oh, he nearly threads it through for Šeško. Aston Villa defends well. Here's John McGinn, does brilliantly. He was surrounded by 4 United players. Somehow turns brilliantly. That's certainly a foul there. That's the second foul that Manu Ugarte has committed. He's walking on a tightrope now. I think the referee's patience will run thin every time Manu Lugate goes through the back of a Villa player. Clear foul on Yuri Tielemans. The Villa goalkeeper, substitute goalkeeper, still continuing his warm-up. Which means that might not be in the clear here, Emi Martinez. Into the 30th minute, 0-0 at Villa Park. There's Aiden Heaven, Manuel Ugarte. Nice pass there to Mason Mount. Turns away from trouble nicely there. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Outside of the boot pass to Luke Shaw on the left-hand side. Good move this from Manchester United. Have committed enough bodies forward. Luke Shaw checks back, finds Fernandes. Patrick Dogu. United taking far too many touches here to get their attack going. Here's Ugarte. Looks for the switch. That's a terrible pass. Oh my word. What a waste by Manuel Ugarte. Not knowing for his ball playing capabilities. Trying to just switch that out onto that right hand side. It was nowhere near. With 30 minutes on the clock. 0-0 at Villa Park. Ruben Amorim's team have started to find results. Even though their performances have not been nearly as consistent. But if they win today, level on points with Chelsea in 4th, is as good a season that they could have had, considering that the start that Ruben Amorim has had to life at Manchester United. Cash does well, but he can't keep the ball in play. Throw in for Manchester United. 15 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half. Chances coming early in the first half. Aston Villa with Ollie Watkins threatening on a couple of occasions. Šeško for Manchester United came the closest for them. Ken Ugate's passing has been really poor. Here's Onana. McGinn. He's got robbed off the ball too. Cannot put pressure. Lovely play there by Mateus Cunha. Plays a no-look pass to the right-hand side to Diogo Dalot. Here's Dalot. Fernandes. And Manchester United's attacks happening at a snail's pace here as Dalot just hangs the ball in the box on his weaker left foot. That is poor decision making. A man with his experience to just put that into the box. Please cross it with his right foot. I mean, okay, you're looking for Šeško, I understand that, but cross with your right foot. You chop in, change the angle on your weaker left foot. Poor, very poor. Nicely played here. Villa with a quick attack. McGinn with a lovely bit of control. It's a magnificent pick out, but the defending by Ugarte was critical with the interception. And Aston Villa nearly opened Manchester United up there. A couple of very good passes to get behind the lines. A clever little pick out there by John McGinn. Nearly found Ollie Watkins. Here's Desiree Konsa. Konsa's making a real claim to start for Thomas Tuchel's England in the summer. John Stones, Harry Maguire, all looking to book their spot in the heart of the defense for Tuchel. Konsa has been the most consistent. Here's Morgan Rogers. Lovely bit of skill there. It's Morgan Rogers, not enough venom. Great bit of play there, smooth move there from Rogers. Again, Manchester United's defending pretty non-existent there. Tielemans rides the challenge nicely. And this is far too easy for Morgan Rogers. The amount of space that he creates with the carry. I've been uncomfortable viewing there from Ruben Amorim. Here's Lenny Yoro, finds Aiden Heaven. Luke Shaw. Manchester United's attacking has been at a pace that really won't trouble the opposition. Again, it's an aimless ball into the box by Diogo Dalot. Patrick Dogu does well to protect the ball against Matty Cash. Here's Cunha. Cunha looking to play the 1-2, but Watkins helps out defensively. Villa play out beautifully. There was an opportunity to pick out the pass. Instead, Cunha's pitched it. Cunha goes for goal. It's parried away by Emiliano Martinez. Well, Cunha seems to have a shoot on sight kind of order. He's looking to shoot from distance. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Cross comes in. It's a very poor header by Victor Lindelof, but they get away with it. See a lot of mistakes creeping in for both teams, but neither good enough to take advantage of it. Here's Ugarte. Nice pass between the lines by Ugarte to Matheus Cunha. Gets away from Yuri Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara. Luke Shaw. Cunha turns again. Cunha does well to keep possession in tight areas. Here's Ugarte. Last 10 minutes has been all Manchester United in terms of possession, nearly 70% of the ball. Need to make more use of it, that's for sure. But you can see the centre halves now at the Villa half. Here's Lenny Yoro, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, Ugarte, everybody getting touches in this attack. They sustained it nicely. Luke Shaw finds Patrick Dogu. 10 minutes per stoppage time remain in the first half. Decent ball. It's wing back to wing back. And Ian Maatsen defends very well. Channel pass for Ollie Watkins. Brilliant bit of control there from the English centre forward. Oh, that's poor there from Aston Villa. Just giving the ball away. Basic communication instead. Manchester United on the attack. Cunha goes for the clip pass, but calmly done by Ian Maatsen. Maatsen has defended very well on the left hand side in this first half. Goes for the clip pass, but calmly done. Game has just settled in for a bit now. See, Manchester United have had all the passes in the final third. Villa have had only 6. A disappointing performance by Unai Emery's men. Pretty much expected it. I think everybody expected Manchester United to get beat here, especially with their injuries, suspensions and players unavailable because of AFCON. These are the games where Manchester United often just pick themselves up and somehow manage to pull a result out. Cunha switches it out. Maatsen defends well again on the right hand side. Here's Lenny Yoro. Maatsen's defending has been spot on here. Brilliant chest control there by Yuri Tielemans. And now John McGinn in a central position here, the number 7. Does well to keep the ball. Release it to Yuri Tielemans. It's just wide. Will he get the ball away from his feet? Try to just curl that away from his countrymen in goal. Again, good play there from Aston Villa, but Manchester United's midfield caught wide open there. Shot from distance. Lemens was never really troubled by it. I haven't seen too much of the Aston Villa midfield in terms of an attacking force. Onana has been a good presence in midfield, but the ball hasn't shown too much. Here he is, Onana. Nice pass there for Tielemans. Protects it nicely. Wonderful challenge there by Ugarte. Bruno Fernandes gets fortunate. Really good composure there from Bruno. He gets his leg snapped there with the challenge. But Onana wasn't going to let him go there. Bruno Fernandes deciding to take a bit of a chance. Amadou Onana using his long legs to try and get around Bruno Fernandes and win the ball right at the edge of his own box. A risk taken by Bruno Fernandes, but you can understand why Onana went lunging in there. It's a dangerous tackle. That's the former Aston Villa manager, isn't he? I want to say Dean Smith. Might be wrong there. I remember John Terry played under him. It'd be a great pull if that was Dean Smith. It's like a random Aston Villa manager. I wouldn't say random. Won the championship when he was the manager. Matson with the throw. Ollie Watkins has played a solo battle up front. Too much space between him and the attacking crew. Šeško wins the header. Lindelof wins the second ball. Tielemans finds Matty Cash. Fizz ball well intercepted by Bruno Fernandes doing his midfield duties. Ooh, he's holding his hamstring there. The ball was hit with pace and he brought that under control. Immediately stopped play here, and Manchester United are threadbare in midfield. The last thing they can afford is their captain and their talisman to go off here. Good to see the Aston Villa players just showing a bit of concern here for Bruno Fernandes. He misses absolutely no time in terms of injuries and missing games. Manchester United are playing just one game a week, but still Bruno Fernandes is always available. Seems okay. Ruben Amorim will be breathing a huge sigh of relief. 5 minutes for stoppage time remain, and what has been an okay first half. Hasn't been too much quality, but there have been chances. Both teams getting half decent chances, with Šeško I think getting the best chance of the first half. Here's Lenny Yoro. Loses his balance but pulls out a magnificent pass to Patrick Dogo, who is onside. Here's Mateus Cunha, Luke Shaw. There's Manuel Ugarte. Finds Lenny Yoro. Yoro, scoop pass. He's found some brilliant passes on both flanks here. On the right hand side is Dalot on his left foot. Cross comes in. Martinez punches. And the tactic is very clear. Try to find the head of Benjamin Šeško. Here's Mateus Cunha. Ugarte. Bruno Fernandes. Clever pass between the lines. Dogo is onside. Dalot. Cunha. He's been surrounded by Aston Villa shirts. There's no way that he's getting anything away from there. Trying to do too much by himself. Needs to release the ball quicker as Fernandes switches it beautifully onto the right hand side. Mount. Cunha trying to go on the outside, checks his run, finds Mason Mount, leaves it to Bruno Fernandes, deflection just wide. Well, the Aston Villa players would have had their hearts in their mouth there. Patient there from Manchester United. Mount just lays it off. Fernandes' first touch is very good. Took a deflection, it was going well wide. 3 minutes plus stoppage time remain, and what has been decent first half for both teams. United will be the more happier of the two teams, that's for sure. Aston Villa have been expected to pick up the 3 points, considering their superiority, not just in terms of league position, but also in terms of form. Mount delivers the corner. Oh, it's a terrible corner there by Mason Mount. That's the kind of quality we do not want to see. Lenny Yoro and Emi Martinez both involved in a judo match there. No kind of contact is allowed on the goalkeeper. Bruno Fernandes was feeling his hamstring after bringing one of the balls under control, but seems to have been a false alarm, and so Manchester United, they want their skipper to be on the pitch. With Joshua Zirkzee, the only real attacker available for Ruben Amorim off the bench. Sandro Martinez is back amongst the squad. Other than that, you're searching and looking at Manchester United's bench, and it's a lot of kids, a lot of academy kids. Going to try and bail them out here. Here's San Lamens. Goes long to Sheshko. Fernandez. His header has been picked off by Matty Cash. Decent press here from Manchester United, forcing Aston Villa to play long. Here's Martinez on his weaker left foot, pings a decent ball in. Tielemans should bring that under control. Instead, Manchester United have lost out. Bruno Fernandes has to do better in terms of shielding the ball. McGinn does just that and then pulls out a magnificent pass. Oh, what a first touch that is from Morgan Rogers. How has he kept that in? It's magnificent from Rogers. Gets away from Lenny Yoro. It's Morgan Rogers! It's 1-0! It's magnificent from Aston Villa. Morgan Rogers, take a bow. The control was unbelievable. And then to get a shot into the top corner was special. 1-0 to the home side. Well, Aston Villa just turn it around in pace. And that all started with Bruno Fernandes losing the ball in midfield. Aston Villa, right at the end of the first half, pull out an outstanding goal. Look at this for composure. John McGinn does so well here. He does exactly what Fernandes was supposed to be doing. This ball is controlled somehow there by Morgan Rogers. Gets away from Lenny Yoro so easily. He's created the angle. Might have taken a deflection off Yoro. And it sails over San Lamens. Manchester United won't keep another clean sheet. It was a perfect curler there by Morgan Rogers. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I don't think that's taken a deflection. You're looking at one of the goals of the season there by Morgan Rogers. Scored a brace in the previous game. Scored another big goal here. Once again, stamping his case for why he should be starting in that number 10 position for England in the summer. Now Manchester United will have to come from behind. Here's Patrick Dogu on the left-hand side. And it's an aimless cross, but it takes a deflection. It's a corner for Manchester United. One out of the 4 stoppage time minutes have already been played. United looking to pull a goal back before the half-time whistle. But Bruno Fernandes, who lost the ball in the build-up to Aston Villa's goal, will be looking to make amends with the set piece here. It's a corner opportunity. The right-footed in-swinger delivered by the captain. Fernandes delivers. Martinez gathers easily. The set-piece delivery has been abject from Manchester United. We've seen Mason Mount struggle. Bruno Fernandes in similar vein. Lovely turn there by Boubacar Kamara. In great composure there by the Frenchman. Here's Lindelof. Onto the left-hand side is Ian Matson. Aston Villa looking very composed on the ball here, but it's a risk taken. It's Matheus Cunha! He accepts the gift. It is suicidal defending there from Aston Villa as Matheus Cunha scores in back-to-back Premier League games. Matty Cash, what are you doing there? Right before the half-time as well. Manchester United have a gift and it is accepted by Matheus Cunha. Brilliant finish, but Matty Cash, it is suicidal, it is criminal. Oh my word, you cannot be doing that. He gets his pocket pinched by Patrick Dogu and Cunha does the rest. In a game where goals were seeming hard to come by, we've seen 2 goals in very quick time. 2 goals completely different in its execution as well. Aston Villa's goal was a team goal of high quality. Morgan Rogers curling in an absolute peach, and Aston Villa, the masters of their own downfall there, Matty Cash doing what he should not be doing right at the end of the first half, and Manchester United have a lifeline just before the halftime break. Very good finish there by Matheus Cunha, but he was put in a position because of Matty Cash's indecisiveness in terms of handling the ball. Here's Lindelof. Onana. 4 minutes of stoppage time has been played in the first half. Might have another couple of minutes added on here. Here's Aiden Heaven. Unai Emery will be absolutely fuming here, wondering how his team do not have a half-time lead. Manchester United have created a few chances as well in the first half. Benjamin Šeško on 2 occasions having clean strikes at goal. Here's Luke Shaw. Finds Lenny Yoro. Manuel Ugarte. Manchester United in midfield have struggled in terms of a coherent plan, but that just might be that in terms of first half action. Morgan Rogers just shakes his head. He thought he had the moment of the first half after he curled in an absolute perler to give Aston Villa the lead. But the self-destruct button was pressed by Matty Cash as he was robbed off the ball by Patrick Dogu, laid it off to Matheus Cunha, who whipped it past Emiliano Martinez to give Manchester United the equaliser. 1-1 at Villa Park, all to play for in the second half. A couple of minutes away from the start of kickoff here in the second half. Manchester United catching life right towards the end of that first half. Matty Cash with what was a lackadaisical bit of play, with Patrick Dogo nipping at his heels, winning the ball back for Matheus Cunha to curl that in brilliantly, scoring in back-to-back games. The Brazilian, after scoring against Bournemouth, he scored late on there that time. Scored late in the first half, this time after Morgan Rogers' incredible first half goal to open the scoring. Brilliant bit of control, chopped in on his right foot. The defensive cover from midfield was not there, and Morgan Rogers just curled that right into the top corner past Saint-Lamens. No clean sheet for Manchester United again, but Aston Villa looking for 3 points here to go 3 points behind Arsenal in top spot. Drop points here will be a hammer blow for Aston Villa after getting into this game on the back of some tremendous form. Their last loss was on the 2nd of November to Liverpool at Anfield, and since then it's been all victories for Unai Emery's men. Well, for Manchester United, not much help on the bench, and we saw Bruno Fernandes holding his hamstring right towards the end of the first half. Now, if that's the case, and if something's wrong and Bruno Fernandes can't continue with no Kobbie Mainoo or Casemiro on the bench, could be real trouble for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim in the second half without their captain and their talisman Bruno Fernandes. Benjamin Šeško had a couple of opportunities in that first half to get the opening goal. His first effort was well blocked, well defended rather, by Emiliano Martinez, and the second attempt, where he had an opportunity to go around the goalkeeper, but his touch was far too heavy. Will have had a few chances, Ollie Watkins and John McGinn rather. A couple of decent opportunities for them before Morgan Rogers managed that brilliant goal. 1-1 the scoreline as it stands. Doesn't really help the cause of either team here to drop points. Manchester United looking to go level on points with Chelsea in 4th position, with only goal difference separating Manchester United, Chelsea and Liverpool. Crystal Palace suffered a very curious 4-1 defeat away to Leeds United. Oliver Glasner's side clearly struggling with European commitments. They don't have a deep enough squad. Well, they're winning in Europe. They are dropping points soon after Conference League duties, and that is a balance that Oliver Glasner is trying to strike here heading into the new year. Well, they're showing Bruno Fernandes' injury. There's no one near the vicinity of him. As soon as you grab that hamstring, you know that things could go from bad to worse very quickly. Couple of sprints, that slight tear or niggle can turn into a long-term injury. That's why Bruno Fernandes and Manchester United have to be very careful here. Their bench is bare, which means that Lisandro Martinez is coming on here. Now, is he going to be replacing Bruno Fernandes and go into that midfield pivot alongside Manuel Ugarte? We'll wait and see. Martinez is readied. He plays in that left side as a centre back, but now he'll be playing further forward by the looks of it. You're looking at the options on the bench. Martinez, Xerxes, Malacia, Tyler Fredrickson, Jack Fletcher, Shea Lacey and Bendito Montato. There's going to be a mountain to climb here for Ruben Amorim and his men without his captain by the looks of it. Lisandro Martinez, we'll see him in midfield. He's got the passing range. He can cover ground as well. So might be a decent option in midfield. Might be an underrated option on that left-hand side of the pivot, with Ugarte on the right. So an Argentine and an Uruguayan in the midfield pivot, which means that Aston Villa should be dominating the midfield battle here with Amadou Onana, Boubacar Kamara, and of course Yuri Tielemans. As it stands, Villa in 3rd position, 5 points ahead of Chelsea, and Manchester United will be in 6th on 27 points, 7 points off Aston Villa in 3rd. Sandro Martinez just waiting before he comes on. Ruben Amorim looks very, very pensive on the sidelines there as the Aston Villa players march onto the ground. Well, they know they've had the better of Manchester United, but the chances that United have had will make Unai Emery slightly uncomfortable, knowing that his team can very easily concede with Manchester United playing some quick football. But quick football has come few and far in between, and the half-time change will be made here. And there you have it, Bruno Fernandes off, and Lisandro Martinez on in place of the skipper. I think Luke Shaw will get the captain's armband by the looks of it, and Lisandro Martinez will slot into centre midfield. Joshua Zirkzee not getting a look in here. Might have used Mason Mount instead of Bruno Fernandes and probably pushed up Joshua Zirkzee, but Ruben Amorim decides to make the decision, and he decides that Lisandro Martinez in midfield is the call to be made. And we're off and running at the start of the second half here at Villa Park. Late kickoff in the sole game on Sunday evening here. Manchester United and Aston Villa deadlocked at 1 apiece after Morgan Rogers opened the scoring with a tremendous goal and Matheus Cunha soon after equalising. This is where Manchester United will have to dig in really deep because of the adversity that they find themselves in with players missing. Martinez's first involvement is a good interception in midfield. Here's Emiliano Martinez, who made a magnificent save of Benjamin Šeško rather. Clever pass for Ollie Watkins. Aiden Heaven gets there first. Has pulled out some very important interceptions there, the young English defender. You can see Bruno Fernandes limping down here. Doesn't look good here. He is walking though. That is the good news for Manchester United. Any time off without Bruno Fernandes might be crippling for Ruben Amorim, and now he'll have to find midfield solutions. And if Bruno Fernandes is out for maybe a month, Manchester United will be forced to dip into their war chest and pick out a January signing in midfield. Some would say even if without Bruno Fernandes' injury, Manchester United need to bolster their midfield. Here's Victor Lindelof. It's pretty much powerless for the Manchester United equaliser. Completely taken out of the game there by Matty Cash. Okay, Martinez is going for the long balls forward. Ugarte. Martinez does very well, but Benjamin Šeško, very curious decision there. Doesn't take a touch and he gets in the way of Matheus Cunha. Martinez takes a bit of a chance. Here's Matty Cash. He'll be looking to make amends. Lovely pass there to John McGinn. Gets away from the challenge of Luke Shaw. McGinn shows great composure. Here's Onana to Lindelof. Ezri Konsa. Manchester United's bench now even more threadbare with only Joshua Zirkzee as the viable option by the looks of it. Here's Lindelof, finds Amadou Onana. Again, that midfield battle has to be won by Aston Villa now. Kamara, Onana and Tielemans have to grab the game by the scruff of its neck, that's for sure. Here's Mason Mount. Dalot finds Lenny Yoro. And Manchester United will be looking to just take the sting out of the game here and try and adapt with their new midfield. Here's Lisandro Martinez. Won't be bombing forward like Bruno Fernandes, which means that Manchester United may have a lot more cover in midfield. Almost an extra centre back here for Ruben Amorim's men. Here's Lenny Yoro. Diogo Dalot has gotten to some good positions in that first half, but his choice of pass and the quality on the ball has been very much lackluster. Mason Mount. Dalot asking Yoro to fetch. Here's Aiden Heaven now. Decent possession here from Manchester United. Martinez finds Mason Mount on the right hand side. Dalot has made the overlapping run. Mason Mount, what a ball that was for Šeško, who does not time his run well enough. Brilliant ball there by Mason Mount. It's in the corridor of uncertainty. You just want your centre forward to get a healthy touch on it. Good pace on the ball. Šeško's run is onside, but he gets no contact on it. Brilliant delivery there by Mount. But yep, Šeško nowhere near that. Needing to anticipate and accelerate slightly earlier. There had not been the centre forward display that Šeško would have been hoping to have in this match so far. Still a lot of time to make amends though. Martinez loses his footing and Tielemans wins the ball brilliantly. Surely a foul there on the Belgian. Free kick for Aston Villa. Luke Shaw a little over enthusiastic with the challenge. Aston Villa take it quickly there. Matty Cash has been caught there by Manuel Ugarte. Throw in for Villa again. And really started the second half here. Unai Emery's men very much on the back foot, being reactive rather than proactive on the ball. Here's Ezri Konsa. Finds Victor Lindelof. Nearly 5 minutes into the second half. Job done for Manchester United as it stands. If they're looking at taking the second half in tiny increments. Here's McGinn. Finds Kamara. Now Ian Maatsen. Had an excellent first half. The young Dutchman on that left-hand side. Some excellent interception and reading of the game. Here's Konsa. Splits the line. McGinn, he's got the overlap on the right hand side for Matty Cash. Here's Tielemans. Konsa. Kamara. Good possession here from Aston Villa. McGinn, clever pass to Matty Cash. Brilliant block there by Patrick Dogu. Here's Onana. Lays it off to Ian Maatsen. Gets the 1-2 brilliantly. Maatsen, can he get a shot away? He can't. Watkins tries. And Manchester United smuggle that out of danger. Here's Diogo Dalot. Matty Cash lost the ball in a similar position and right at the end of the first half. Mason Mount does brilliantly with quick feet to ride the challenge. Here's Dalot. Finds Mount. Ugarte back to Mount. Onto the left hand side is Luke Shaw. Better from Manchester United. They haven't been too disjointed with the substitution of Bruno Fernandes. Hamstring injury for the Manchester United skipper. Sandro Martinez, you can see there, is very much in the base of midfield, allowing Ugarte to make the forward runs. There's Lisandro Martinez. And has to resist the temptation of just playing those long switches. Just keep it tidy and keep it basic. Oh, what a terrible pass that was. I think that was Mateus Cunha. Tried the switch out, but it was a poor giveaway of possession. Nana under pressure, goes back to Martinez. Villa playing out the back here with Lindelof. Maatsen under pressure. Manchester United win the ball back here. Here's Benjamin Šeško. Looks for the cross into the box. Blocked by Lindelof. It's a corner for Manchester United. Once again, Aston Villa, masters of their own downfall. They're losing the ball in critical areas, giving it away. This time it was Ian Maatsen, but the pass by Victor Lindelof meant that Ian Maatsen couldn't do too much. United win the ball back, win the corner, and they can compound Aston Villa's misery by taking advantage of the set piece. Unai Emery will be absolutely fuming with his fullbacks. Luke Shaw looking with this left-footed in-swinger. Manchester United with their obvious targets. Got Lisandro Martinez as the additional centre-back to target as Luke Shaw delivers. Oh, there's a chance there. It's a curious header. Goes back to Shaw. Floated into the box. Cleared away. Decent first touch. Mason Mount pulls it wide. Well, set up nicely for the Englishman. Good bit of control there on his weaker left foot. Didn't have the power. He was just hoping that it would just squirm towards the bottom corner. Defensive work there by Aston Villa was very average. Good first touch there by Mount. Can't get the shot on target though. Good start to the second half for Manchester United. Been pretty poor by Aston Villa. Here's Tielemans. Finds McGinn. Now Matty Cash. Well, Aston Villa left it very, very late against Arsenal at Villa Park. Emi Buendia scoring literally at the last kick of the game to secure all 3 points for Unai Emery against his former club. Here's McGinn. Clever turn. He threads the through pass, but Ollie Watkins not on the same wavelength as the skipper. Nearly 10 minutes into the second half, Manchester United have defended well. Not allowed Aston Villa to create any clear-cut opportunities. The loss of Bruno Fernandes in midfield, not felt so far. Ooh, Martinez takes a chance. Does very well though. Finds Lenny Yoro on the right-hand side. Here's Diogo Dalot. Sees a bit of green grass in front of him. Dalot goes on the outside of Maatsen. Maatsen defends that very well. Liam Maatsen knew that Diogo Dalot was going to shift that onto his right boot before whipping the ball into the box. Mason Mount coming the closest in the second half so far. His left-footed effort going just a couple of yards wide away from the post. Yeah, fair play to Manchester United. Knew that this game was not going according to plan. They fully seized on the opportunity that Aston Villa pretty much handed on a plate to them. Since then, they've taken care of business well. Here's Dalot. Outside of the boot pass there, the Trivela assist attempt. Here's Mateus Cunha. Gets it to Mason Mount. It's clever. Very well defended. It's Morgan Rogers who's helped out and found a very clever pass. Oh, that's terrible there by Camara. It's Lisandro Martinez. It's just wide. Well, he saw a lot of space opening up. Nobody closing down the Argentine. Thought about the shot. He catches it very well. Camara loses the ball in unlosable territory. Really great strike there by Lisandro Martinez. Didn't have the curl on it though. A little too much curl. Again, Aston Villa, the number of times that they've lost the ball in dangerous areas, absolutely unacceptable. Onana, Maatsen. Surely a foul there by Mason Mount on Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans playing as the number 10 today. Hasn't been influential whatsoever in the match. See him better as that midfield 3 or even in the pivot. See now Tielemans dropping a lot more deeper. Well, Villa's control in the midfield has been non-existent, and that part will disappoint Unai Emery the most. They haven't dominated possession. They have not turned Manchester United around. It's been very comfortable for the away side in the second half especially. Here's Lindelof. We saw Aston Villa, the only side not to beat Liverpool in that tragic run the defending champions had. McGinn finds Camara brilliantly. Tielemans can't bring that under control. Pass just behind the Belgian. Tries to get away from Diogo Dalot. Doesn't have the pace, but tries a bit of trickery and puts the ball into the box brilliantly. It's Morgan Rogers! It's a brace for the Englishman. He curls it into the corner again. A bit of fortune to how the ball falls to him, but the finish is emphatic. Rogers has a brace and Aston Villa are back in front. Quality finish again from Morgan Rogers. But the defending there from Manchester United, questionable to say the very least. And for all the good work that Manchester United did in the start of the second half, it has been undone with Morgan Rogers picking the corner again. And Manchester United concede 2 goals in a match once again. But it all starts with Tielemans having no right to get across into the box. This is brilliant there. Lenny Yoro has to do better. I mean, the fact that Lenny Yoro doesn't go diving in, I think it's because he concedes that penalty against Jean-Philippe Mateta against Crystal Palace a couple weeks back. Look at that. It's very passive defending there by Lenny Yoro. And by the time he dives, it's far too late. And we saw Morgan Rogers evade the challenge of Lenny Yoro for his first goal. And he does that again. It's the same result for Rogers. And Villa 2-1 up. That is a brilliant celebration by Unai Emery. Look at that. He will know his team have been nowhere near the levels in the second half. It's a combination of relief, frustration, and a bit of exuberance as well. All coming out there by Unai Emery. As Morgan Rogers, in back-to-back weeks, has got back-to-back braces. Top scorer for Aston Villa. Luke Shaw does well. Now Manchester United have to find a response again. Cunha onto the right hand side. Dalot on his left foot here. Dalot looks to curl it. Well, chance for Dogu. Brilliant block by Matty Cash. We'll talk about making amends there. The two wing-backs nearly combined for a goal there. Again, far too much space for Diogo Dalot here. Maatsen has to get closer. He allows him to go on his left foot. Strikes that well. Martinez sees that late. Falls nicely for Patrick Dogu, who looks to just hit that with power and keep that down. Excellent block by Matty Cash. And Manchester United coming close to an equalizer soon after going behind. And once again, the set pieces has been terrible. I mean, we've seen Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, and now Matheus Cunha all put in terrible corners. We're into the 60th minute here. Unai Emery has gotten his team back in front here. Bit of individual magic from Morgan Rogers again. He's on a hat-trick. Erling Haaland had a brace. Nick Woltemade had a brace against Chelsea yesterday. Are we going to see a hat-trick here? Ooh, Nana has taken a bit of a chance there, and Mason Mount was buzzing around him. Nana does well to just shield the ball away. 30 minutes per stoppage time remain at Villa Park. The Morgan Rogers brace, the difference between the two sides. And once he's front of goal and he has that angle and he can see that far side of the net, almost feels inevitable at this point. His shooting from distance has been absolutely elite. Lindelof plays a channel pass. Lamens comes a long way out. And Aston Villa gain a lot of yardage there. Aiden Heavens on the ground there, but no injury for the young centre-half. He was pinned very nicely by Ollie Watkins for the goal. Watkins just laid it off nicely for Rogers to do the rest. Now Aston Villa will be looking for that cushion goal here. Here's Rogers, again gets away. He thought about the curler again, and why not? The way that he's striking the ball, full of confidence. Mason Mount might have adjudged to hand that, but referee waves play on. Dalot, nicely done to get away from Maatsen. Dalot does brilliantly. Here's Benjamin Šeško, switches it on to the left-hand side to Patrick Dogu. He's been a lot more advanced. Decent ball in, cleared away by Konsa. Matty Cash on the cover. Defends that very nicely. Konsa gives the ball away. John McGinn, brilliant bit of skill. The way that John McGinn escapes from pressure really is his most special attribute. He keeps the ball in close spaces, doesn't give the ball away. He can quickly turn and ping a pass. Saw that in the first goal as well. It all came from John McGinn's ability to hold the ball under duress. He's got two players around him, still keeps the ball, picks a pass. Still a high quality player for Aston Villa. Played for them when they were in the Championship and in their ascent up the Premier League table. He's very much been one of the centerpieces. Here's Lisandro Martinez, finds Šeško. It's a decent ball, but asking a lot out of Mason Mount. Mount gets there first. Two former Chelsea players in Maatsen and Mount. Engaged in a duel there. The cross by Diogo Dalot does not beat the left winger. Here's Martinez. Diagonal to Patrick Dogu. Decent header. Headed away by Konsa. Here's Manuel Ugarte. Easily won by Amadou Onana. And now Aston Villa on the counter-attack can be dangerous here. On the right-hand side. John McGinn here driving his team forward. They've got plenty of bodies committed here. McGinn, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant by Matheus Cunha. He has run 40 or 50 yards with pace to follow John McGinn, and he makes a crucial interception. He'll concede the corner, but it could have been a whole lot worse. But Matheus Cunha dragged his team back with the late goal in the first half. Needs to try and repeat his heroics if Manchester United are to avoid defeat here. Aston Villa, as it stands, 3 points behind the league leaders Arsenal. Chelsea play Villa next, if I'm not mistaken. That is going to be a massive, massive game. Third versus fourth. It's at the bridge as well, so Chelsea might be slight favourites. Morgan Rogers takes an effort. Takes a deflection. Cleared away by Manchester United. Again, they cannot allow Morgan Rogers in shooting opportunities. Every time Rogers has the ball, somebody has to close him down from a Manchester United point of view. Now that he's on a hat-trick, his confidence will be through the roof. Martinez decides to go long. Dogu wins the first header. Ugarte does well, but he's lost out again. Oh, that is so lucky. Manuel Ugarte gets away with murder. That is a terrible first touch. It gets away from him. Oh, it is a foul. He is fortunate though. Tielemans doesn't have to go lunging in there because Onana's there on the cover. And that's the second time that we've seen Amadou Onana pinch the ball off Manuel Ugarte and starting a counter-attack. Martinez with a decent ball onto the left-hand side to Patrick Dogu. Here's the left wing-back. Finds Mateus Cunha in the inside channel. Cunha looks to curl it. It's well wide. Well, he's been Manchester United's sharp shooter. Shoot on side every time. Cunha does have the ball in those half spaces. Not shy to shoot. First touch and a second one just to steady himself before looking to just fade that into the corner. The longer this stays at 2-1, Manchester United will know that they're very much in this game to try and at least take a point from a very tough away ground. Martinez takes a chance. Aston Villa somehow play out the back here. It's worked. Luck rather than judgment, but United win the ball back. Aiden Heaven gets robbed here, and now Manchester United in real trouble here. It's Ollie Watkins up against Lenny Yoro. The foul has been given belatedly. The offside flag rather. Well, if Ollie Watkins is offside, this is very disappointing here. Oof, that's a tight call from the linesman. Lenny Yoro might have played him onside. Generally you see that the linesman waits before the action is complete, before putting his flag up. And Lenny Yoro does not look very confident in those wide areas defending. He's got the pace, but when someone cuts in, it just takes him out of the game completely. Here's Lisandro Martinez. Mason Mount, slightly more influential in the second half. Lovely switch out there to Patrick Dogu. First time ball into the box. Massive opportunity. And the header is wide. Mateus Cunha from unmissable range heads it wide. Free header for the Brazilian. It's a brilliant pick out here from Patrick Dogu. Mason Mount with the switch out here. Oh, he has to score. It's a sitter. Huge let off there for Aston Villa. Mateus Cunha. How have you missed that? Ruben Amorim cannot believe his number 10 has put that header wide. And if Aston Villa needed a wake-up call, that was it. Well, Cunha has looked the most likely for Manchester United to score, and he really should have equalized. Manchester United haven't created too many opportunities, but the opportunities that they've managed to create have been good chances. Here's Camara. Picks the ball in midfield. Well, Ugarte goes lunging in, and I'm sure he's going to pick up a yellow card for it. And now the Uruguayan has to walk the tightrope here. Lovely bit of control there from Boubacar Camara, and Manuel Ugarte just goes lunging in. Clear foul, a clear yellow card. Now has to be careful with about 22 minutes plus stoppage time remaining here. Morgan Rogers with two lovely curled efforts. Sandwich between the Mateus Cunha equalizer and Cunha. A minute ago should have scored. It was a brilliant pick out. First by Mason Mount to switch the play out. And Patrick Dogu putting in a pinpoint cross into the box for Cunha to attack. Free header. Just wide. Here's Lisandro Martinez. Has brought a bit more control in midfield. Nowhere near the passing range. Oh, Dogu has lost the ball inexplicably here. On the right hand side, Villa looking to attack. Camara goes on the right hand side instead. John McGinn waits for the overlap. Instead, he looks for the cross himself. McGinn goes on the outside. Cross comes in, blocked by Dogu. It's a corner for Aston Villa. Again, Again, their own doing there. Patrick Dogu losing the ball out of absolutely nothing. Turning attack into defense. Aston Villa not able to take full advantage of it. Into the 70th minute. Corner for Aston Villa. Well, Manchester United's quality from the set pieces have been well below par. Aston Villa will be looking to clear that. McGinn's delivery does have a lot of whip and pace on it. McGinn delivers. Headed away by Patrick Dogu. Tielemans shows great strength, but the offside flag has been raised against the Belgian. But Matheus Cunha has been all over the pitch as we look at his chance once again. Not known for his headed prowess, but he's about 6 yards from goal. He has to score. There's no way around it. Well, Unai Emery would have been absolutely fuming again if Manchester United equalised. Oh, what are you doing there, Ian Maatsen? Manchester United win the ball back. It's Mason Mount, but the handball has been given against Benjamin Šeško. Let off there for Aston Villa again. Well, Ruben Amorim sensing that the game is there to be at least drawn here. He's going with a double substitution by the looks of it. Well, I know Joshua Zirkzee is coming on. Oh, the pass is left short here. Manchester United putting Villa under pressure now. Here's Manuel Ugarte. Feeds it onto the left-hand side. Patrick Dogu. Surveying options. Cunha. Lisandro Martinez switches it out nicely on the right-hand side. Dalot. It's Mason Mount. Ball across. Cunha can't get his effort. And it's smothered by Emiliano Martinez. Well, Aston Villa are making heavy weather of this game here. Again, the number of mistakes from Aston Villa. Absolutely shocking from a team looking to be a serious team this season. Cannot be dropping these moments, especially. Oh, that's a foul there by Diogo Dalot. He's going to pick up a yellow card at least. It's accidental, but he does catch Ian Maatsen. Yellow card for Diogo Dalot. Can't have too many complaints. It's a high challenge too. You can see there, Ian Maatsen is holding the area above his knee. Let's have a look here. It is a very high challenge to Dalot's defense. He's got his eyes on the ball. He's caught him right on the gut there. It's a sore one for Ian Maatsen to take. Hopefully his core was tightened to brace the impact. Dalot will pick up the yellow card. It'll be interesting to see who comes off here for Joshua Zirkzee. You want to keep Benjamin Šeško as your number 9. And it seems that Šeško will remain on the pitch. It's Manuel Ugarte who's coming off. This is a very bold move by Ruben Amorim, which means that Mason Mount will drop into midfield and Joshua Zirkzee will be on that right-hand side. Very attacking lineup now for Manchester United. Well, Benjamin Šeško is coming off. It seems that he is not going to remain on the pitch, which means Joshua Zirkzee will play as the number 9 and Fletcher will be taking his place in midfield. Manchester United academy player, watching him for the first time. Let's see how he goes about his business. Tough away ground to make your debut. Here's Victor Lindelof. Is he going to get a result against his former side here? He was much maligned, much criticized, and rightfully so, for his spell at United, playing nearly 300 appearances in a 7-year span. Some would wonder how Victor Lindelof made the cut for so long. Here's Lenny Yoro. Still time for Manchester United to at least pick up a point. Again, nobody putting pressure on Lisandro Martinez here. Mason Mount's touch is heavy. Oh, there's a foul there by the looks of it. I think Victor Lindelof has gone through the back of Matheus Cunha. I think he might have won the ball first here. He might be slightly unlucky. Let's have a look. Nope. He's got Cunha first. Cunha nips in. And Victor Lindelof commits a needless foul again. Dangerous situation here for Manchester United to try and capitalize on. Hasn't happened in open play. Will set pieces be the route for Manchester United back in this contest? They needed a huge slice of luck and a massive helping hand to get the equalizer the first time around. There's going to be a bit of quality and the end of the set piece opportunity. It's Mason Mount with No Bruno Fernandes on the pitch. Taking charge of the set pieces here. Mount delivers, clips it towards the back post. Oh my word. We've seen this from Mount before again. It's a terrible ball in. Not in the vicinity of anybody there. And Aston Villa looking to respond with a double change of their own. Daniel Marlon and Lucas Digne both coming on. Well, Daniel Marlon will be replacing Ollie Watkins and going up top. Wait and see who the left back decision might be with Luca Dean possibly replacing Ian Maatsen. Well, not on the score sheet here, Ollie Watkins, but he has been a handful for the Manchester United centre-halves. It's crucial in setting up that second goal. Lovely layoff there for Morgan Rogers to curl it, and Ian Maatsen, his stint at left-back comes to the end as the experienced Luca Dean, the Frenchman, takes his spot. More pace up front here for Aston Villa as Unai Emery looks for that cushion goal, knowing that the game is still very much in the balance here. All it takes is a mistake or a moment of quality for Manchester United to drag themselves back here. Here's Patrick Dogu. Should have had an assist for that Matheus Cunha header. Here's Fletcher. Manchester United youngster taking a position high up the pitch. Well, United will try and take this throw in here with Diogo Dalot. Moving on to the left hand side, the right wing back. Looking for a flat delivery here with the throw. Aiden Heaven, Lenny Yoro, Joshua Zirkzee, all the targets in the box. No Šeško now in the Manchester United box, and it's a poor throw in there by Diogo Dalot straight into the palms of Emiliano Martinez, and it's a quick throw in here. Villa looking for a quick attack. Is John McGinn on the right hand side. Couple of passes and Villa are in at the Manchester United defence here. Here's Morgan Rogers. Tries to get away from Fletcher, does brilliantly. Rogers, brilliant, clips the ball in. Good defending there by Lisandro Martinez, and Mason Mount clears. Here's Joshua Zirkzee, put under immediate pressure there by Ezri Konsa. Foul given by the centre-half. It's a good area to commit the foul. Manchester United were looking to counter there, but once again down that right-hand side, Morgan Rogers putting the spin moves on the youngster. As it stands, Manchester United find themselves in 7th position, a point behind Sunderland in 6th, 2 points behind Liverpool in 5th, and Chelsea, of course. Goal difference going to be a huge part. The game's coming thick and fast here. Mason Mount thought about the shot. Mason Mount with the effort, blocked by Onana. Here's McGinn, goes around the outside. Luke Shaw does well to put the pressure on here. Manchester United playing with a lot more intensity, but the quality has been desperately missing for Ruben Amorim's side. Here's Aiden Heaven. Lenny Yoro. Manchester United have made 3 changes with Joshua Zirkzee, Fletcher and Lisandro Martinez. Martinez, of course, came on at half-time to replace Bruno Fernandes, who had the hamstring injury in the first half. Here's Dalot. Poor pass there by Diogo Dalot, which makes Aiden Heaven trying to recover. This is where Manchester United have to sustain a period of attack here, put Aston Villa under the cosh. It's been very comfortable for Aston Villa. Here's Lenny Yoro. Win here for Aston Villa gives them a lot more of a breathing space, with Chelsea up next for Aston Villa. What a run of form Unai Emery and Aston Villa have been in. 7 wins in a row as it stands. Who's going to stop the villains? Oh, it's a foul there by Camara. Might pick up a yellow card. No. Very generous there by Michael Oliver. And it's Matheus Cunha who suffers the foul. Here's Lenny Yoro. Mount. Yoro. Sandro Martinez. And doesn't make quick decisions like Bruno Fernandes, but defensively he has looked solid. Oh, it's a really poor giveaway there by Aiden Heaven. And Tielemans, lovely first touch. Luke Shaw on the slide. Brilliant challenge by Luke Shaw. Absolutely critical. Zirkzee holds the ball up nicely. Here's Lisandro Martinez. Evades the pressure. Clever line breaker there. Cunha. Patrick Dogu on the left hand side now. Dogu looks to whip that in. Well defended there by Matty Cash. Manchester United looking to sustain a period of attack here. Villa are not able to get out though. Ball keeps coming into their defensive structure. Into the 80th minute. Once again, Manchester United looking for a long throw. Long throws have not worked whatsoever in this match so far. Makes it a bit curious to see why Diogo Dalot goes back in to throw this one in. Decent flick on header. They're asking for the handball, but it's a hopeful appeal there by the youngster Aiden Heaven. There you have it, the throw in. First time coming to some use there from Diogo Dalot, needing one of the centre halves or Joshua Zirkzee to try and flick that on. It was Aiden Heaven who got that header on it, but did strike the arm of Onana, but was to his side. Another throw in, another decent flick on here. There's a chance it's a pinball here. Surely an opportunity. Manchester United cannot get a shot away. Absolutely incredible how that did not fall kindly to United. McGinn shows composure. Kamara under pressure. He gets the foul. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. It's getting really frantic at Villa Park. Michael Oliver with a decisive call there. You can see there. Oof. It was slammed by Victor Lindelof on his own teammate there. Real panic defending there. It came off the chest of Yuri Tielemans. Good call there from the officials. Really difficult to spot that, so many bodies around. And Tielemans was facing goal as well, so it's a really difficult spot, but fair play to the officials. Under 10 minutes of normal time remain. Villa as it stands 3 points behind top spot Arsenal. Their winning run continues here. Onana wins that header brilliantly. Morgan Rogers lays that off. Finds his captain. Here's John McGinn. Clever pass. Luke Shaw defends brilliantly. He's lost out to Morgan Rogers though. Rogers does well. Oh, that might be a foul there by Fletcher. Referee waves play on. Doesn't signal the foul either. Here's Onana. Finds Luca Dean, the substitute, on that left-hand side. Here's Yuri Tielemans. That's a poor ball in. See what he's trying to do there. He needs someone to run across the front post, but nobody really making the run. No Ollie Watkins. Daniel Marlin is a different option at centre forward. He's got the pace and trickery that maybe Ollie Watkins does not have. He does not have the hold-up play. There's Mason Mount on the right-hand side. Lindelof defends very well. Does very, very well. United still have the ball though. Here's Lenny Yoro. Mason Mount trying to take responsibility as the head attacker here. Lisandro Martinez finds Luke Shaw. Cross comes into the box. Again, crosses into the box without Benjamin Šeško in the team. Might not be the wisest move here. Joshua Zirkzee is capable. But again, balls into the box is meat and drink for the Aston Villa centre halves. You can see Cunha and Mason Mount both trying their very best. Try and drag Manchester United back into a situation where they can at least take a point. But Villa will be doing everything in their power in the final phase to close this one out. Well, a double substitution for Unai Emery's men. Amadou Onana, the first to be sacrificed with 7 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. He's had a very good shift in midfield. His physicality and his ability to read the play in terms of interceptions have been excellent. Onana and McGinn are coming off, which means Emiliano Buendia, the Argentine number 10, will be coming on the right hand side, and Gesson coming in place of Amadou Onana. Manchester United are making the change themselves here. The number 29, Frenchman Gesson, takes his place in midfield. Buendia will be replacing John McGinn. And as for Manchester United, number 15 is Lenny Yoro. Yep, Lenny Yoro coming off. Another game where Lenny Yoro starts but does not finish, and it's Lacey in his place. Ruben Amorim forced to throw on 2 academy players in Lacey and Fletcher. Try and salvage something from this match. The squad has been stretched thin with injuries, suspensions, and of course 3 players on AFCON duties. Mazraoui. Oh, there's a lovely play here by Morgan Rogers with the strike. He asked for the handball. Gesson is there, but it's cleared away. Morgan Rogers with a half-hearted appeal. Good composure shown by Aiden Heaven. Gets away from a tricky spot. Joshua Xerxes, what a flick on that is. Beautiful play this from Manchester United. Patrick Dogu drags his team forward with the carry on the left-hand side. Gets away from Kamara. Dogu drops him down. Here's Luke Shaw. Good pressure from Manchester United. Dogu, terrible pass. Buendia intercepts. Again, the quality from Manchester United in the final third has been really lacking. Here's Mateus Cunha though. It's an effort on target. Well, he's had 5 or 6 shots, Mateus Cunha, in this match. Has scored 1, should have scored 1. And he's had a few pops from distance as well. Comfortable for the Argentine goalkeeper. Here's Morgan Rogers, still on a hat-trick. Still be waiting for that one last chance to shoot. Try and get a hat-trick at home against Manchester United. But it's Mateus Cunha though. Good defending by Kamara. Gets the interception but inadvertently concedes a corner. An opportunity for Manchester United to once again load the box up. Under 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Manchester United were looking to go back into 5th position. This is their 4th opportunity. And every time they have an opportunity, they seem to be dropping points. Lost to Everton at home. 10 men Everton. A draw at home to West Ham. Draw to Bournemouth. The home form has been questionable. Away from home, they've been slightly better. Wins against Crystal Palace and Wolves, but against Aston Villa, it seems that they might leave empty-handed. There's still a bit of time. 4 minutes per stoppage time remaining. Let's see how Aston Villa play out this tricky situation they find themselves in. Aiden Heaven has looked very impressive at the heart of the defence. Very calm centre-back. His fundamentals are good. Likes to carry the ball. Good interceptions. Body positioning. All the fundamentals you look or you need from a centre-half. Aiden Heaven ticks a lot of those. So again, Manchester United in the last 10 minutes with the possession but not having enough attempts to trouble Emiliano Martinez. Here's Luke Shaw. Almost playing as left back here. It's Mateus Cunha. Tries to bounce that off nicely. Oh, the pass is far too heavy. I think that's Mason Mount. Yes, it is. Again, the exuberance. You can't really fault Mason Mount in terms of effort, but his quality in terms of the final pass, or that quality in the final third, sorely lacking in this match. Villa looking to close this game out as Kamara is coming off. He's put in a really good shift alongside Amadou Onana in midfield, but Unai Emery deciding a new midfield for the end of the match here. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time remain. The game is still open for Manchester United to get a point out. Aston Villa, a standing ovation for their French midfielder. Kamara's off and Bogart takes his place. Aston Villa forced to use their depth because of European commitments and still playing at a very high level in the league. Unai Emery knows that he has to keep his players fresh as much as possible. The squad will be tested. We'll wait and see whether or not Aston Villa do make some moves in January. They do have PSR problems. But their recruitment in the summer was really unacceptable, man, in terms of, yes, you might be struggling to get players, but to go and get Victor Lindelof and Jadon Sancho as your 2 quote-unquote big names in the summer, very questionable. But Lindelof has been good. Played well against his former side. And good experience shown here by Aston Villa. They're running down the clock expertly here. 90 seconds remain of the 90 minutes. Might see about 6 or 7 minutes of stoppage time added on. Plenty of substitutes used by both teams. But Manchester United simply have to throw the kitchen sink here. Doesn't matter if they lose 3-1 at this stage. They have to go for broke here. Game is still there. Stoppage time, all you need is a chance created. Here's Tielemans, finds Daniel Marlin, looking for the reverse pass to Gesson. Good defending there by Diogo Dalot. Shepherds that out for a goal kick. Final minute of normal time here. Again, the intensity from Manchester United is not there. There is that urgency really missing here. Here's Fletcher. Luke Shaw. Sandro Martinez. He's been robbed off the ball there by Bogard. Cunha wins the ball back. Gets away from the challenge. Brilliant there from Mateus Cunha. What a carry this is from the Brazilian. Mateus Cunha. He takes an age to release the ball. My word, he has to release it. Instead, it's a strike from distance on his weaker left foot. It is Lacey who really did put his lace through it. Good strike from the youngster. It's on target but does not have the curl. Again, Mateus Cunha has to release the ball quicker. He's done so well in terms of the ball carry, but he has to release it quicker. He got tackled and the ball fell very kindly to Lacey. Here's Cunha again. We're into stoppage time. Time running on for Manchester United. Here's Patrick Dogu. Ball into the box again. Headed away by Luca Dean. And Morgan Rogers helps out defensively. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Aston Villa nearly there in terms of a perfect weekend for them. They knew the pressure was on with Arsenal and Manchester City both winning. But as it stands, Aston Villa will go just 3 points behind the league leaders Arsenal after match week 17. Yuri Tielemans has put in quite the shift as the number 10. Not known for his running prowess, but he's put himself about. You can see Mason Mount just digging his elbow into the gut of Yuri Tielemans. Just knocks the wind out of the Belgian, but he's okay to continue. Unai Emery pacing nervously on the touchline. But he took an extra couple of points right at the end against Arsenal. That game was heading for a draw, but Emiliano Buendia had other plans. It was a phenomenal finish with the last kick of the game. Are we going to see something dramatic here? Manchester United need quality though. Dogu has shown a lot of work and he's just been fouled right at the edge of the box. A yellow card for Aston Villa. It's Bogard who just came on the pitch. Has committed the foul. Patrick Dogu has been excellent on that left hand side in terms of his initiative and willingness to keep running in those dangerous positions. The foul clearly outside the box. Manchester United having a very good opportunity to pull the equalizer here through the set piece. Set piece delivery in this match from Manchester United has been really, really poor. That has to change. The two Englishmen, Luke Shaw and Mason Mount. Left and right foot option. Pondering over who pulls rank here. I'm expecting Mason Mount's right-footed outswinger here. It's Mason Mount. He goes for goal. He crashes onto the roof of the net. And Aston Villa survive. Well, Mason Mount's set-piece delivery has been well below par. This time he tries to catch out Emiliano Martinez. Tries to find the top corner. Decent technique. But he's asking a lot to try and beat Martinez from there. Promising situation for Manchester United disintegrates into just a goal kick here. The Villa fans looking to celebrate Christmas, being third in the league. What an unbelievable job Unai Emery has done since taking over Steven Gerrard at the helm. I mean, they were in what, 17th, 18th position? Now they're not just in Europe, but they're third in the league after match week 17. It is incredible. This is what elite coaching can do to you. It can change your life. Into the final minute of stoppage time. We've seen very little stoppage time action here. It's a foul for Manchester United, and surely the last opportunity to just play the ball forward. The urgency from Manchester United really has been missing since going down to that Morgan Rogers second goal. Again, where's the urgency? We'll have a look here. Really is last chance saloon. Luke Shaw just pumps that forward, asking a lot out of Lacey. Lacey tries his best to keep that in. It's a throw in. Youngster's done well since coming on. Manchester United now playing with a bit more exuberance. Again, the quality has been really lackluster. Here's the match winner as it stands. Morgan Rogers, beautiful pass attempt there. Oh, Kesson does well. Holds off the challenge. Great carry there by the Frenchman. Excellent challenge there from Fletcher. The referee has had a look at his watch. He might just spot that Manchester United might have one last opportunity, but the referee blows the full-time whistle at Villa Park and Unai Emery's run continues. 7 wins on the trot for Unai Emery and Aston Villa as they consolidate their spot in third position, 3 points behind league leaders Arsenal after match week 17. Manchester United suffer another away defeat, nowhere near in terms of quality. Mateus Cunha scoring the lone goal for United, but it was Morgan Rogers who was the star of the show, scored right at the end of the first half and nearly 15 minutes into the second. 2 identical goals in terms of right-footed curlers. The first one was special and the second one was emphatic. Aston Villa continue their brilliant run in the Premier League. Unai Emery can do no wrong as Aston Villa's train and their journey continues on the ascendancy. Full time here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 1.